see it ever.
No, he's the best goal scorer in the league, and he has been for at least 3 years, if not more than that. And I believe the amount of goals he has through the amount of games he's played, he's on a faster pace than Ovechkin was.
Yeah.
Now he's actually at a goal rate that's better, at a better pace to beat Wayne Gretzky than what Ovechkin was at the time. I think that there's a high chance that Matthews ends up being the highest goal scorer of all time.
That right there seems like a bold claim. And it's especially an unpopular opinion when that same player hasn't had much playoff success. But when you look at the numbers and realize that Auston Matthews has more goals in his first 511 regular season games than Alex Ovechkin, it's not out of the realm of possibility that we are witnessing goal-scoring greatness. Because right now in the NHL, there is no one better at scoring goals than Auston Matthews. And if he keeps this up, the truth is that we may very well be witnessing NHL history. At the time of this video being made, Auston Matthews is currently on pace for 77 goals at the end of the season. If he doesn't get injured, and that's a big if, it could be just the 15th time in NHL history that we see a player score 70 plus goals. And when you look at the company that's done that feat, it only makes it much more impressive. For years, Alex Ovechkin was considered the NHL's best goal scorer. It's why the man is currently chasing Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal record. But in the last few years especially, Matthews has slowly taken over. For years, it seemed like when Ovechkin got in his office on the left circle, it was automatic. And while that hasn't been the case just yet for Ovechkin this season, Matthews has become automatic, but in a far more versatile way. Matthews can score goals in any fashion. Off the rush, on the power play, on the perimeter, in the slot, you name it, he can do it. Some may look at his goal-scoring ability and attribute it to his fantastic release. And while that is a big part and component to his success, it's not the main reason why he's scoring goals. To understand this, let's look at some of the numbers. Satoshi Takano, who is a great follow on Instagram, pulled up this player card from the NHL Edge Analytics Tracker. This player is in the lower half of the league for top skating speed, ranks in the 70th percentile for speed bursts over 32 kilometers per hour, and his top shot speed puts him in the 69th percentile of the league. If you had to guess without looking at the goals, you'd think that this would just be another mid or average NHL player. But this is Auston Matthews. And what that should tell you more than anything is that Auston Matthews is the NHL's most intelligent shooter. It's one thing to beat a goalie clean with your release, but it's another thing to consistently be in the right spot to do so. In every single situation of the game, Auston Matthews' off-puck routes are nearly perfect in putting him in a position to score goals. This season, he's the leader in 5-on-5 goals with 20, and it's really because of his versatility in all offensive scenarios to find space. Let's start with this rush goal here against Nashville. First, almost every elite player in the NHL attacks the middle of the ice with the puck, and they very rarely do so in a predictable way. Watch here as Matthews carries the puck through the neutral zone. He's using something called linear crossovers to keep the defenders guessing his route. Linear crossovers are when players cross their feet to accelerate, as opposed to relying on strides and moving in a straight line. If Matthews was going to skate at the defender straight on here, he becomes far more predictable to defend. This is something that Nathan MacKinnon uses very frequently to twist up defenders and attack the middle of the ice. Matthews doesn't quite have the speed to break through like MacKinnon does, so he's going to have to kick out wide to gain the zone here as the defenders have a decent gap on him. Watch Matthews actually anticipate the poke check here from the defender and then use the triangle of his stick to slide the puck underneath and over to Nylander. Matthews drives the middle properly, and now with one pass, he's created an advantageous 2-on-1 situation for him to have an easy tap in. Matthews' speed isn't his best quality, so instead of trying to burn guys off the rush like we see other players do in the NHL, he often plays as the F2 or F3 and finds gaps for himself to attack so that he can be in a shooting position almost instantly. That's why when you pair him with players like Nylander and Marner who thrive off the rush, it creates a lethal threat for the Maple Leafs. But where Matthews is the most dangerous is in the offensive zone off of sustained pressure or off a turnover. If you look at Matthews' heat map for where he scores most of his goals, more than half comes from below the dots. That's because Matthews times his arrival into these spots perfectly and also knows when to fade away from the traffic to jump on a loose puck. Here, the Leafs have sustained pressure and defenseman Jake McCabe finds himself up in the play. Now, this is normal for the Leafs as they like getting all 5 players involved on offense, but off screen is Auston Matthews covering the point for McCabe. The Leafs systematically want Matthews to dive back into the play, but timing is everything here, because if he misreads his route, it leads to a turnover and odd man rush the other way. So watch him take advantage of every Ranger puck watching and slip right into the soft spot in coverage between Kreider and Lindgren. Notice his speed as well. He doesn't go in full speed, chugging with his legs pumping. He simply glides in with a wide stance so that as soon as he gets this puck, he can release it almost instantly. McCabe finds his stick and the elite release takes over. Toronto's ability to turn a 1-2-2 forecheck into sustained pressure is among the league's best, and it's why their offense is so deadly. When you have players like Matthews and Marner who complement each other so well, you get chances like this that have you asking, how the hell did he get so open? Watch as Nyes wins a nice board battle here as F1 and then kicks it out instantly to Marner to transition to their 2-3 offensive zone strategy. Marner swings up high to create space and open up the slot, but look at Matthews already anticipating this and reading off Marner by pointing his stick towards Brody. Marner sends it to Brody and peels wide to take his man with him, and Matthews comes up to fill that space up ice. The result is Tampa left with pure confusion and a free shot for the best goal scorer on the planet. It's these type of cerebral plays from Matthews that allows him to frequently find soft spots in the most dangerous areas of the ice. But even when he's in a bad shooting area, his awareness of the goaltenders make him a threat from everywhere. Here, he has a sneaking suspicion that Allen may be a bit soft on his post, and with the extra man, why would anyone shoot this puck from this spot? Matthews considers these factors, and that's exactly why he does it, because the goalie is simply not expecting it. This highlight reel goal from Buffalo is the same thing. The spin to protect the puck is nice, but again, in what world does a goalie expect a shooter to fire a puck from this spot and to do it this accurately? Matthews keeps goalies guessing, and he keeps them honest. Ever since Matthews entered the NHL, no one has scored more goals than him. NHL fans might not be ready to hear the fact that Matthews may be an even better goal scorer than Alex Ovechkin. Again, only time will tell, but the truth is that while the greatest goal scorer of our generation closes in on the NHL goal record, we may already be seeing the next guy in line to shatter that same record. The math suggests it's possible, but it's an entirely different conversation when it comes to longevity. Ovechkin has been beating goalies for years with his one-timer and his ability to shoot through checks. That combined with a relatively full and healthy career has him close to NHL history. However, if Auston Matthews remains healthy and continues to evolve as the NHL's best goal scorer, years down the road, we might be having this same conversation about Auston Matthews.